Do you dream of adding your very own book to the collection of books that have already been written? Do you wonder where to start or how to finish? Does the idea of writing a book seem too overwhelming? Do you just want to polish up those writing skills or stay motivated? Do you wonder what to write about? Everything you need to help you write, stay motivated, and self-publish your own book is right here on one channel. And why? Well, because it's time to get over the writer's hump and just do it. You can write anything. Yep, you can write a book. Hey everyone, welcome to a book. And today I'm going to be sharing with you some things that I think every writer wants to know, and let you know about some things that are going to be happening in 2024. So this channel, as you know, is dedicated to helping people who want to write a book. Whether you've written 10 books before, no books, doesn't matter what your level of writing skill is, this channel is for you. We're just going to have some raw conversations about writing, things that keep you motivated to write, reasons why you write, what you like to write, what is worth writing in 2024, how to publish your book. This channel is dedicated mostly for people who self-publish. There are millions and millions of people out there who are publishing their own books all the time. And maybe you're sitting there with a book and you're thinking to yourself, how would I go about publishing a book? If I have something to write, but I don't know what to do with it once it's written, what do I do? This channel is for you. We are going to talk about those types of things. So coming up right away in 2024, I have some wonderful guests lined up for you. We have a guy by the name of Daniel that is, I don't want to give it all away, but he is really doing some awesome things with the very first book that he has written. Friend of mine, Julie Pennington, who is also a brand new author. She's just completed her first novel and it is taking off, let me tell you. And great and dear friend of mine, Ray Bear. She is an author who has published 3 books and also does editing and proofreading for my books. So she's going to be on our show in January as well, January of 2024. So those are just a few of the people that we have lined up for you. But today, what I want to talk to you about is permission. Strange topic, isn't it? Do you need permission to publish a book? And the answer to that is unequivocally no. You do not need permission at all. Nobody needs permission to publish a book. Now, having said that, what I want to tell you is I am by no means saying that you should go and publish whatever you want and have no regard for whether or not it is offensive, whether or not it will sell, and whether or not your spelling is correct and your grammar is correct and all of those things. But what I am saying is that anybody can publish a book without permission. So it used to be years and years and years ago that if you had a book, you had to do one of 2 things. You had to send your manuscript off to a publishing company, and they would scour through hundreds of manuscripts and they would decide whether yours was good enough to make the cut. And if it was, they would turn it into a book. Then you would get royalties for that book, or they would pay you a flat rate. Say maybe they would pay you $1,000 and they would publish, I'm being hypothetical here, they would publish your book. That was how things were done. Or the other way that you could possibly publish a book was to spend thousands of dollars of your own money for printing, and that was to print and bind the book. People would get articles maybe published in newspapers that they would send in. There were various ways to get your work published, but it always meant the approval of someone else. In other words, somebody had to say, we believe that your work is good enough. It's not like that today. No more. There are so many ways to self-publish a book these days, and it doesn't require you even printing the books. Now, there are places that you can go through, printing houses that you could go if you wanted to spend all kinds of money and have your book printed and bound and sent to you, and then you would be in charge of distributing those books and selling them. Personally, I am not a salesperson, and I am a huge advocate for uploading your book to someplace like Amazon, which is a print on demand publishing place. So let's say I write a book, and I'll just kind of show you, give you an idea here. Give me just a second here. This is a manuscript that I am currently working on. It's called a book. Can you see that? It's called a book. I am writing a book. And when I'm done, I will take that manuscript. It's all in digital form. I do it in Google Docs. They have some templates you can use right there in Kindle Direct Publishing. And then I will upload that to them, to Kindle Direct Publishing. They even have a way that you can make a cover, although I do not recommend their cover creator. These are technical videos that you can watch all over YouTube, teach you how to do these things. But essentially, you take that manuscript and you upload it, and they walk you through some things like, how much do you want to charge for your book? They will provide you an ISBN number if you don't want to get one on your own. I recommend getting your own, but if you don't want to do that, then you can always have them assign you an ISBN number, and voila, you can upload your book. And that book will go up for sale. It usually takes a couple of days for them to approve it. Now, remember, I just told you, you don't have to have permission to write a book. What they are looking for are things to make sure that you haven't stolen any copyrighted material, just that it's all formatted correctly and that it will actually print correctly. Those are the types of things they're looking for. They're not approving or disapproving your writing skills or style or abilities. So once that book goes live on Amazon, it is for sale. And now you can start sharing that with your friends, your family. You can start a fan page. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do to start promoting that book. So this channel is dedicated to people just like you who have a book, who want to get it published, who feel stalled, or just looking for inspiration and ideas. We're going to talk about writing. I know for me, writing was at first a very lonely process. I didn't know other authors. I had never met anybody who had ever published a book before. I didn't know how to do that. I was scouring YouTube for any information that I could get. And I wasn't part of a writer's club. I didn't live someplace where there was a writer's club. There was just nobody for me to connect with. And now that I am a published author, I've published 7 books, 7 or 8, working on my 8th and 9th book right now. But now I have met so many wonderful authors, and I'm connected to that community of people. And I'm connected to people who do editing and people who are willing to read through my manuscripts and say, oh, you might want to change this, or hey, I caught a mistake. None of my books are perfect. I will tell you that every book that I have ever published has come back, the final draft has come back with an error in it that I never caught, that my editor never caught, that people just never caught. You don't have to be perfect. There's a progression to writing. The very first book that I ever wrote was garbage. It was absolutely terrible. And we're going to talk about those things, oh my goodness, what do you do when you've written something horrible? And just so many details about writing. How do you stay motivated? Where do you come up with your ideas? The writer's embarrassment. I think a lot of people are embarrassed to share their writing with people. They think, oh, they feel exposed. If I share this, everybody's going to know some details about how my brain works and what rattles on up there that I put out in paper. So we'll go through all of those things so that you don't feel alone. And along the way, you're also going to gain some practical tips, how-tos, some actual hands-on how do I upload my book to Amazon. At some point, you'll see me, I'll go through that process where you'll see me upload a book and publish it to Amazon. gosh, we just have so many wonderful things coming up, along with getting to share with you these fantastic authors and giving them an opportunity to sort of showcase their work. Because one of the other things that happens after you've published a book is, who's going to see it? Now, what do I do with this? How do I get this out into the world for them to see? On that note, if you are an author that would like to be a guest on a book, then I would love for you to reach out to me, because I know some authors. That's great. We are going to have some regular guests on here with some practical information and wonderful conversations, but I want to hear from new authors, and particularly those of you who are indie authors. In other words, you're independent authors, or um, maybe you have a book sitting around that you haven't actually published yet, but you're in the process of doing that. I want to hear from you. And I'd love to have you as a guest on this show, this brand new YouTube channel that I've created. And we're just going to have conversations. We're just going to talk about writing. It is such an expression. Writing is unique to everyone. There are those people who love to write sci-fi, or I've written several self-help books, business books. Gosh, the range of what people can write is just endless. There are poetry books. There are cookbooks. I've done one of those. It's sort of a cookbook. So there's just so many things that a person can write and be creative about. And pardon me, I just want to encourage people that you do not have to have permission to be a writer. Anybody can write a book. And hey, on that note, I'm going to talk just very briefly, because I don't want this to just be a plug for me. That's not what this is about. But I am going to plug, I am going to talk to you about this book that I'm writing, a book. And it's just full of sort of a writer's journey, how things that you can do to improve your writing skills, giving you permission, giving you motivation, giving you inspiration, talking to you about that writing process. Movies, Hollywood, and books have done this phenomenal job of glamorizing, I think, maybe the writer's process. Obviously, there are some famous writers out there, but that is like less than 1% of writers out there. Most writers write, publish, and are never heard from again. Like, I think they said the average number of books that a writer will sell is something like 32. I don't remember all the stats here, but something like 32 books, and that's it. So it's hard sometimes to stay motivated after you've written your first book. And why would somebody want to keep writing if all they're ever going to sell is 32 books? So we're going to talk to people who know about book marketing. And we're going to talk about some organizations that you can join where you can learn to market your book, some things that you can do in that direction. Just so many conversations. But a book that I'm writing, the title is A Book, is going to have some of those types of things that we're going to talk about in there. What happens when you are disappointed, and what happens when the fantasy of being the #1 bestseller does not match reality, and how can you turn reality into that fantasy. So just so many wonderful things that I hope keep you motivated and inspired. And I want to hear from you. I am one voice, and I think that there are millions of other voices out there that we would all love to hear from. I want to hear authors' opinions. So reach out to me. I'm excited. I cannot wait to have our guests on starting in January. That's just going to be a thrill. And I look so forward to this journey through 2024 with you and with all of these other authors. So on that, we are going to end, and we're just going to get ready. We're going to get ready for 2024. Thank you for joining me today. You have a fabulous day, and God bless you.